Hey, are you there, little one? You're free right now, right? Or are you still up to your neck in those dishes you're always washing? Remember when you used to dream of becoming a famous chef? With a restaurant, you could put all those fancy plates in this town to shame?
Good evening, Esther. It's pretty late right now, so if you've business with me, I'd appreciate it if you could keep it short. There's a whole lot of work to be done in the morning, and unlike some people, I actually have a job to go to.
Wow, I see you're just as cold and abrupt as ever. Lost all that youthful spark, haven't you? Remember when you used to greet me with a hug and a smile no matter what time of day it was?
Sorry, I don't mean to come off as rude, but I was literally just about to go to bed. There's a big presentation at work tomorrow, and I need to be sharp. Besides, I'm not much of a phone person.
That's a surprise. It's often said that there's no rest for the wicked, but I guess you must have reached some extreme level of wickedness that you completely ran out of energy. Or maybe you're just too busy counting your ill-gotten gains these days.
Listen to me, Esther. I thought I made this pretty clear before, but we are not nearly as wicked or poor as you seem to think we are. I have no idea where you get this stuff from. Maybe you've been spending too much time with those gossipy hens down at the bingo hall again.
Where do I get it from? Isn't it obvious? All it takes is one look at peeling wallpaper and that rickety porch to know you're not exactly living the high life. I'd have to be blind or mentally handicapped to think you had money.
I made this clear before as well, but it obviously went straight in one ear and out the other. We're currently having a new house built on some land we bought out by the lake, which is why we're temporarily renting out this, shall we say, charming but rustic place. My husband and I decided there was no sense in splashing out on something fancy when we're only going to be here for a couple of months at best, which is why we looked for something on the budget-friendly side.
If that's true, then you should tell me where this house you're supposedly having built is, like I've been asking you all this time. I'd believe you in a heartbeat if I could prove that what you're saying is true, but you refuse to tell me anything, no matter what. Is there something you're hiding, Melina? Something that wouldn't exactly make for good gossip down at the bingo hall?
What's the point? Telling you wouldn't make any difference. You'd only come up with another way to be a perpetual thorn in my side. So I'm not going to bother wasting my breath.
What on earth are you talking about, dear? Come on, just tell me. Is it some kind of mansion with a swimming pool and a tennis court? I always knew you had big dreams, Melina.
No. In any case, there's no way you'd be able to get there anyway. You haven't driven in years, and besides, it's a bit of a trek.
How do you know I wouldn't be able to get there without even telling me? Oh dear, you sure could be dense sometimes. Don't you remember what your old friend Esther is capable of? Back in the day, there wasn't a place in town I couldn't get to if I set my mind to it.
I have no interest in telling you in the first place. Besides, you wouldn't believe me even if I did.
Excuse me? Don't you dare turn your back on me like that, young lady. We're not done speaking. There's more to be said, and you're going to listen to every word of it.
No, you'll have to excuse me. I'm going to sleep now. My pillow is calling my name, and the exhaustion of seeping into my bones like fog. Honestly, Esther, this conversation has felt like wading through waist-deep mud.
Hey, I'm not done speaking to you. Don't you dare hang up on me, Melina. This isn't over. Don't you think for a second that you could just shut me out like some bothersome fly?
I can barely keep my eyes open. I think you must be sending me to sleep with your negativity. It's like a powerful lullaby sung by a voice dripping with envy. Honestly, Esther, I couldn't continue this conversation even if I wanted to. My brain feels like mush, and my eyelids are drooping like wilted flowers. Good night, Esther. Sleep well if you can manage it.
Wow, you could be so boring, Melina. Have you always been this dull, or is it a recent development brought on by your unfortunate circumstances? But I guess that's what happens when you let your life ground you into dust. You lose your spark, your fire, and that's all left in a monotonous drone. But I guess you're a poverty-stricken loser with nothing to do but wash dishes and dream of a life you'll never have. I guess it's only normal to end up being bored living a life like yours. You know what? I'll be kind and let you off the hook, because I pity you. See ya! But don't think for a second that this conversation is over, Melina. We'll talk again soon, and next time you won't be able to escape so easily. Melina! Melina, pick up the phone, would you? This is important. Don't you want to hear about the fantastic opportunity I have for you? You know, since you're always complaining about having nothing to do and all that free time hanging heavy on your hands.
Ugh, Esther? Is it really that late? Look, whatever it is, I'm swamped right now. Between the reports due for work and the mountains of laundry that seem to multiply overnight, I can barely catch my breath.
But if you don't take this on now, it'll be a very awkward situation. I'm counting on you, dearie. You know, I wouldn't ask if it wasn't absolutely crucial. Besides, a change of pace from your usual routine of staring at the wall might do you some good.
I appreciate the sentiment, Esther, but I'm not taking on anything else right now. My to-do list is longer than my arm, and the last thing I need is something extra to add to the chaos.
So, hey, listen to this. I'm going on holiday to Hawaii soon. Palm trees and sandy beaches, the whole shebang. A relaxing escape I desperately need after all this stress with the house and everything.
Sounds lovely, Esther. But honestly, I don't care about your vacation plans. Whatever it is you want me to do, the answer is no. Or rather, I literally can't. Because, like I said, I am super busy catching up on a mountain of work that seems to have grown sentient and keeps multiplying on my desk.
Hold on a second. Don't hang up on me yet. Here's the thing. I told the kids they're staying over at your house next week while I'm gone, so I'm counting on you for a little babysitting fun. Thanks in advance, dearie.
Wait, what? What did you just say? When you say kids, do you mean your kids?
Of course, who else's kids would they be?
But also, absolutely not.
Now, don't be hasty. What I mean is that my husband's on the other side of the country on a solo work placement right now. My folks live 6 hours away with a dodgy knee and hearing aids. So naturally, I'm going to rely on the person with the most free time on their hands.
Except I don't have the most free time. In fact, I barely have any free time at all. Why would you go telling your kids something like that when I already told you? I can't help you with anything. This is completely out of the blue.
Why are you telling me this now? Last time we spoke, you told me you had so much free time that it's all you do. All you do is sleep and complain about being poor. Don't you remember? I even offered some friendly advice about budgeting and getting a second job.
I so did not say that. That's a complete and utter fabrication.
Fine, if you're so busy, then tell me why. What exactly are you doing? Filling out endless applications for those minimum wage jobs you keep complaining about? I bet you won't tell me because it's secretly a big steaming pile of bull you came up with to get me off your back, right? I could read you like a book, Melina.
Actually, Esther, as unbelievable as it may seem to you, I'm on holiday in the Maldives right now.
Excuse me? The Maldives? You?
Yep, a family holiday. Even if you were dumb enough to take your kids to our house, they wouldn't be able to stay there because we're not even in the country. So good luck finding someone else to take care of them, Esther. Maybe you can try calling a daycare or something? Because this time, you're on your own.
I get it. There's a spa resort called the Maldives, right? In the next city? I can't believe that going to some cheap spa resort constitutes being in another country for you. You must be even poorer than I thought.
Wrong!
If you're only in the next city, I see absolutely no reason at all why my boys can't stay with you.
No, like I just told you, you're wrong.
Anyway, enough of this idle chit-chat, my darling. Angels will be arriving soon, shortly at your place.
No, I'm in the real Maldives. The tropical islands in the Indian Ocean. Not some freaking spa resort.
You better hurry up and start driving home.
No. I'm being serious here, Esther. I'm in the Maldives, the country. How many times do I have to say it? I promise you, there isn't going to be anyone there when they arrive. Hey, Hannah, I am sorry to bug you like this. It's still morning for you there, right?
Oh, hey there, Melina. I'm surprised you're messaging me already when I only just waved you guys goodbye the other day. How's my favorite next-door neighbor doing? You and your family must be in the Maldives by now, right? How's it going? Is it as lush as it looked in the pictures you showed me?
Yes, we arrived. Thanks.
I'm pleased to hear it.
I hate to have to ask you this, and I promise I wouldn't be contacting you if there was any other way. but there is something of utmost urgency I need you to do for me.
Oh, what is it, sweetie? Is everything all right?
Esther's kids outside my house?
Huh? Esther? Oh, you mean that annoying mom notorious for pulling that daycare trick?
Yes.
Hold on a second. I'll head out and take a look. Melina, Esther's kids were outside your house. Apparently, they just got there when I went out to check.
Wow, so she actually sent them? I can't believe it.
Don't worry, it's fine. I took them into my house for the time being. They're drinking soda and watching cartoons on the sofa.
Thanks. I'm so sorry to trouble you like this.
It's fine. Really, it's not like you could do anything from the other side of the world.
What are you going to do next?
Don't worry. Everything's fine here. My husband's friends with Esther's husband, so I'm pretty sure we'll be able to figure something out.
Oh, really? Oh, I can't tell you how relieved I am to hear that. I can't thank you enough for this. Hannah, seriously, you're the best. If, by any chance, did Esther make you the target of that awful daycare trick of hers? For some reason, she seems to think the fact that me and my husband aren't filthy, stinking rich somehow makes us poverty-stricken scrap heap dwellers. Don't ask me how, but it seems like she convinced herself that I'm so poor that I couldn't possibly have any duties or responsibilities. Which, in her mind, naturally makes me the perfect candidate to look after her brats on a moment's notice.
Did you tell her you're currently having a new house built?
I did tell her, but she's convinced I'm lying because I didn't want to tell her the address. So we're kind of at a stalemate.
Right, I see you have a point. If she got wind of your new address, I get the feeling she'd do a 180 and convince herself you and your husband were loaded and constantly pestering you for cash.
I know, right?
In any case, leave the kids to me. Luckily, it's my husband's day off, and he just messaged Esther's husband.
Thanks so much, Hannah. You really are a star.
I'll keep you updated as soon as I know anything. You will too.
Please, I'm counting on you. Thank you so much. Esther, apparently Hannah, my next door neighbor, is watching your kids at her place. She told me her husband messaged you, so I'd appreciate it if you could keep all contact regarding this whole situation between you guys and not message me any further. I wouldn't understand what was going on anyway because, like I said before, I'm in the Maldives. Esther, my messages are on red, so I expect you to see this one too. It would appear that your husband is ignoring Hannah's husband's messages, but I really think it'd be the best for everyone if you got back to him ASAP and got this whole situation resolved. She tells me there's a huge fuss going on over there right now due to all the things they found out about you after you dumped your kids on her and jetted off to Hawaii. The longer you let this ridiculous farce go on, the worse the consequences will be.
Yo, Melina. Welcome home, dearie. I'll be arriving at the station soon, so I'll stop by on my way back and pick up the kids. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention all those jumbled, incoherent messages you spammed me with while I was on holiday in Hawaii. What the heck was that all about? Have you been drinking? Did you seriously think I was gonna panic and rush home after you threatened me like that? I get that you must have been desperate to dodge the responsibility of looking after my kids, but was there really any need to get aggressive? You're so sad and tragic. You'll be pleased to know I enjoyed Hawaii to the fullest for an entire week, just as planned. I'll be at your place in 30 minutes or so. So, be a darling, get the boys ready to come home. Melina! Melina, what the hell's going on here? There's a looking for new tenants signboard up outside your house. You insolent wench. What in the devil's name are you playing at? Don't you think for a second that you could just skip out on your responsibilities and leave me stranded like this?
Well, well, well. Esther, look who finally decided to grace us with her presence. Welcome home.
Where are my children? Don't play dumb with me, Melina. I know they're in there. I saw toys scattered all over the lawn when I pulled in.
I'm sure you could tell from looking at the place, but they're not here, Esther. They haven't been here for weeks, have they?
How could you be so irresponsible? My children! They're just little boys, Melina. They need their mother. Don't you have any maternal instincts at all?
Irresponsible? Let's talk about irresponsibility, shall we, Esther? Because I made it pretty darn clear I wouldn't be looking after them while you were off on your little getaway, didn't I?
Not just because you are on a day out at a spa resort in the next city is no reason for you to not come looking after my children. We made an agreement, Melina. You know, I had a dentist appointment today. You said you'd be happy to watch them for a few hours.
A dentist appointment, Esther? Did I ever tell you I was at a spa resort? Did I even once mention where we were going? I think you might be getting a little confused.
There's no way a sad, pitiable, poverty-stricken loser like you could even afford a vacation to the Maldives. Not in a million years. You're probably holed up in that house with a bunch of microwave dinners and instant noodles watching reruns of old soap operas all day long. Hurry up and give me my children back. Now!
Now, Esther. There's no need to get all riled up. Besides, the insults are getting a little tiresome, don't you think? You might want to try a different tactic if you want to get any answers out of me.
I don't have time for your games, Melina. Those are my children in there, and I won't leave until I see them safe and sound.
Actually, Esther, your children were never here. I suggest you ask your husband about where the kids are. Perhaps he has a better idea of their whereabouts than I do.
Excuse me? I already told you that my Harry is living on the other side of the country for a work placement right now. There's no way he could have them.
Good grief, Esther! If you take a good look at the messages you ignored while you were enjoying your little holiday in Hawaii, you'll probably get a good idea of the mess you're in.
Mess? What are you talking about? Hawaii? I haven't been to Hawaii. What is this nonsense?
Mess is definitely the right word, Esther. If your husband's away, who did you go to Hawaii with? Don't you think you owe Harry a little explanation?
Huh?
Let me guess. Is it someone you'd be in heaps of trouble for if your husband found out? It is, isn't it, Esther? That's why you've been sequentially dumping your kids on practically everyone you know for the last few months, isn't it, Esther? So you two could meet up without anyone finding out.
What? No, that's not true at all.
All right, great. In that case, how about you message Harry and see if he can tell you what's going on with the kids?
Really? Wait, are you saying my husband has the boys?
He does, as far as I last heard. What comes next is for you guys to work out between the two of you. So I'm hereby officially dropping out of this absurd situation. My work here is done. I'm washing my hands with you. Good luck, and goodbye.
Melina, where the hell did you run off to? I've been calling you non-stop, leaving messages, practically camped out at your doorstep just to get a hold of you. Give me the address of your new house at once, huh? My life is a flaming dumpster fire right now. It's all your damn fault.
Whoa. Slow down there, Esther. Take a breath. Last I checked, we weren't exactly on speaking terms, so the hostility is a bit much, wouldn't you say?
Don't play innocent with me, Melina. My husband divorced me because you couldn't keep your goddamn mouth shut. And look after my boys like I asked. You had one job.
Now, hold on a second. Let's rewind a bit, shall we? Because, as I recall, looking after your boys was never part of the deal. In fact, I specifically remember making that abundantly clear. Perhaps you were a little too busy basking in the Hawaiian sunshine to remember those pesky details.
Don't you dare bring that up. Because of you, Harry found out about the affair and now his lawyer's demanding I pay an arm and a leg in compensation. He took custody of our boys, too. My life is being turned upside down and it's all your damn fault.
An affair, you say? Interesting. Because as far as I know, the only affair happening was the one between you and your little tropical getaway. And speaking of getaways, isn't that why you were so desperate to pawn your kids off on me in the first place?
I knew that I'd never be able to sleep again unless I let you know how furious I am with you directly at your wretched, ugly face. So I waited outside the entrance of the school your kid was supposed to be going to for almost 4 months, just so I could ambush him and make him tell me where you live. What the hell's going on? Explain yourself now.
Oh my god, you waited for Henny? The poor kid hasn't even started school yet. Actually, you know what? Screw it. I'm probably never going to see you again, so I may as well tell you our new house is not even in the US.
Huh? What? Why would you move abroad?
We originally planned to move abroad due to my husband's work circumstances. And we figured it'd make the most sense to time it with little Henny moving up to elementary school to minimize the burden on him. But my husband's work transfer got delayed by an entire year, giving us a huge amount of time to plan, so we figured, why not have a house built while we waited? Honestly, Esther, it feels like a lifetime ago that we were wrangling toddlers in the kindergarten pickup line. Our recent trip to the Maldives wasn't strictly justification, you see. It was actually part of a much bigger adventure. We stopped off there on the way to a different country, which will not be named for privacy reasons, to take our first look at our brand new house in person. It's everything we ever dreamed of and more. A fresh start in a beautiful new place.
And why didn't you tell me any of this? I had the right to know, at least as a courtesy. We weren't exactly best friends, but our kids were in the same class for a year. Surely that counts for something.
On what planet do you have a right to know any of my private business, Esther? Let's be honest for a second, shall we? We never really spoke beyond the occasional awkward exchange at school pickup. You might consider yourself an acquaintance, but as far as I'm concerned, you were a neighbor I barely knew. Besides, the details of my life are for my close friends and family, not someone who consistently tried to pawn their kids off on me whenever they felt like jetting off on a whim.
You're horrible. You could have at least given me a heads up. Now my life is crumbling around me, and you're standing there sipping coffee like it has nothing to do with you.
I don't need to hear lectures on morality from you, Esther. Remember that little Hawaii incident? Where you lied about a dentist appointment and dumped your kids on me for the weekend? Not exactly the actions of a saint, are they?
Do you have any idea how desperate my situation is right now? My husband divorced me and took the boys. He found out about the little vacation I took, and now he wants half of everything. Not only that, but my secret boyfriend dumped me too. Turns out his wife found out about us, and now she wants to share his assets too. He kicked me out of the house the moment the news broke. He even got disowned by my own parents. My own parents, Melina. Do you have any idea how that feels?
Not my problem.
Please, how could you be so cold? What am I supposed to do now? I feel so utterly hopeless. I'm homeless and broken alone.
Actually, there is something kind of funny about this whole situation. Isn't it ironic, Esther? You spent all this time trying to avoid responsibility for your own actions, and now it's all come crashing down around you.
Huh?
Sorry, Pumpkin, but since this has absolutely nothing to do with me, I'm off to enjoy the rest of my beautiful morning. I have a brand new life to get started on, and, unlike you, I plan on facing it head on. Good luck, Esther. You're going to need it.
No, wait. Please hear me out at first. You could at least let me share my troubles and give me a shoulder to cry on, couldn't you? I'm seriously in a bad spot right now. Melina, please.
Good grief. I wonder where the hell that deranged woman thought I'd have any interest in listening to her stories and giving her a shoulder to cry on after she caused me and my neighbor the mother of all inconveniences. Despite the fact we were never even friends to begin with, her behavior was inexplicable right till the very end. As for what happened next, I heard this from Hannah, who, by the way, I would like to thank for being so amazing throughout this whole thing. Thanks, babe. You're the best. Anyway, I digress. It turns out Esther, having almost no money left at all, was forced to move into the smallest, most beat-up heap of junk apartment in the whole city. Isn't that a sweet irony? Apparently, it doesn't even have a bathtub. I'm told there's a bathhouse nearby, but there's an entrance fee, which, as things stand, she can't afford. Now, having not showered in at least a month, Her transformation into a grimy cave troll emanating a smell so noxious and protrusive that passerby have to pinch their noses just to survive the encounter is officially complete. Astonishingly, she actually managed to land herself a job, but less surprisingly was fired during the first week due to her unique odor. Rumor has it that by this point, she's pretty close to being homeless.